Hi, Botanical Medicine Club, Ryan here. In today's presentation, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite herbs. And this is one of the herbs that if you come on an herb walk with us, you'll be able to meet in person. So let's go ahead and start today's presentation. Okay, so today's discussion is going to cover Marrubium vulgare. So this is a photo of Marrubium vulgare, and something I wanted to point out here is if you notice, the leaves here are alternating, okay? And notice the pattern of the flowers here. So this is a key component of plants within the Lamiaceae family. And once you sort of get to know this pattern on plants, you'll be able to easily recognize other plants within the same family. And this is just another photo I wanted to highlight because you can really see the pattern of the flower here. And we're going to go ahead and talk about these features in just a second. Okay, so some general facts about Marrubium vulgare. Its common name is white horehound, and it's commonly spelled the way it shows here on the first one, H-O-R-E. However, technically the proper way to spell it is H-O-A-R. However, this first way is what you'll see used most often. Its family is Lamiaceae, and this is the mint family. And the pattern of the mint family, as we just saw on those photos, is that it has a square stem. And to note with this stem is when you actually feel the plant, you can feel the four sides. It feels like a square or maybe like a cube. It also has the opposite leaves, which you can see in this photo. So these two are sticking out this way, and then these two are sticking out the opposite way. So that pattern is called opposite leaves. And plants within the Lamiaceae family are also usually aromatic. So think about your mint, very aromatic plant. Marrubium vulgare is in the same family, and most of the plants in this family are going to have not the same smell, but also have a strong aromatic feature to them. Let's see here. And we talked about the stem and the leaves already. So those are some of the key components when identifying Lamiaceae plants. So most mints, and by mints, I mean mint family plants, are spicy, but they're edible. Or in the case of Marrubium vulgare, they can be bitter, but they're edible. They have irregular whorled flowers. And in the flowers, you'll find 4 stamens. 2 of them will be long and 2 will be short, as well as 5 united petals that are going to have 2 lobes up and 3 lobes down, as well as 5 united sepals. Also, the flower matures into a seed capsule that's going to contain 4 nutlets. So just to highlight the flower again, this is the flower pattern you'll see within this family. All right, the part used for Marrubium vulgare is the aerial part. And just a fun fact about this plant is that it tends to grow on damaged land. And when you have damaged land, it tends to be the first plant to sprout back up. So it's kind of a unique plant in that way. All right, so a little bit about the constituents and the pharmacognosy of Marrubium vulgare. The primary constituent in this plant is a sesquiterpene lactone, specifically marubin. There are other sesquiterpene lactones, but marubin is the primary one in Marrubium vulgare. And sesquiterpene lactones, including marubin, are a type of low molecular weight terpenoid. They are antimicrobial. They're consistently bitter. So if you taste a plant that is very bitter, there's a good chance it has sesquiterpene lactones in it. And as you may know, bitters stimulate digestion, secretions, as well as motility of the GI tract. Sesquiterpene lactones are also lipophilic, meaning they're extracted well in alcohol, and a 60% alcohol base will extract these. They also have a strong taste and odor, and they're very volatile. And a fun fact about volatile compounds is that they can often skip first pass metabolism when they're inhaled because they're going to enter directly through the nose and interact with the olfactory nerve. However, if you eat it, of course, they will undergo extensive first pass metabolism, but despite this, they're still very, very potent and they'll still have an effect. All right, so some actions and uses of Marrubium vulgare. As mentioned on the previous slide, it's antimicrobial. It's also antispasmodic, astringent. It's a bitter digestive stimulant. It's choleretic. It's a stimulating expectorant, which is mainly why we're covering it right now. It's a wonderful respiratory herb. It's also vulnerary, and it promotes normal mucus production and expectoration. So with this feature, you want to use Marrubium vulgare for really wet coughs because it's going to help the patient get out that mucus. That's what expectoration means. And it works specifically for copious thick mucus. So you don't necessarily want to use this plant on someone with a dry cough, for example, but when somebody has a really wet cough, this is a great choice. And just a quote here that I really like. This is from the Earthwise Herbal, Volume 1, a quote about Marrubium vulgare. And it says, as a bitter, it promotes secretions that expel abundant, thick expectoration. This allows for the secretion of new mucus, which contains new immune cells and secretions. Again and again, we see that herbs work not by killing germs, but by changing the environment and allowing the body to do the germ killing. I thought this was a really nice quote that highlights both how Marrubium works as well as why we're using herbs, is to stimulate the vis, right? We're stimulating the body to do the work itself. All right, and as always, contraindications, you always want to pay attention to these. Marrubium vulgare is contraindicated in early pregnancy, as well as acute diarrhea, acute gallstones, and acute peptic ulcers. This is because it's a digestive stimulant, and we don't want to stimulate the GI tract too much when people have these acute diseases. Although, of course, early pregnancy is not an acute disease, but for the diarrhea, gallstones, and peptic ulcer. It may cause nausea in a patient who has never taken bitters before. So this isn't necessarily a contraindication, but it's something to be aware of. You might want to start a patient off on small doses of bitters to get them used to it first. And overall, Marrubium is very safe. All right, and as always, some resources. These are all really great resources. And if you're looking to learn more about botanical medicine, these are great sources to have within your tool belt and to refer to. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this presentation and we'll see you next time for the next plant we're going to cover. Bye.